Hello friends and fashion lovers, you are welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video. In today's tutorial, we'll be drafting a basic dress pattern for babies, both the bodice and also an airline dress. We are going to be considering a pattern with sleeve and a pattern without sleeve. It is important to know how to draft this basic pattern because you can transform it into various dresses. Example, from a basic airline dress to a pinafore airline dress, and so many more. So without much of a talking, let's get right to it. So here I have my long ruler, my pattern master, and my scissors, my markers, my drafting paper, and also my tape. So to get started, I'm going to start by drawing my guideline. You need to draw a guideline because no matter what, you want to have a line that is straight. So using the upper part as my shoulder line, I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the arm sky, which is 5.5, then from the shoulder to the waist line. I'm going to extend this measurements across. So now I'm going to put half the shoulder measurement. So just from shoulder to shoulder, just put half of that. The next thing to do is the neck width. This neck width is subject to change in future. Then the neck dip. So there is a formula on how to calculate the neck dip. So you can look at that. That is if you don't have your desired neck dip. Just extend your shoulder marking to the chest line. Now, ½ inch is my shoulder slope. So I'm just going to connect that out. So moving on, I'm going to put quarter of the round chest measurements. So now with the quarter of the round chest measurements added, then ½ inch for ease. Then to the arm sky, I'm going to find the midpoint and go in by ½ inch. So with that, I'm going to connect these 3 points from the shoulder to the midpoint, then to the chest line nicely. Then I am going to put quarter of the round waist measurement, not forgetting the ease. Since my measurement was taken without ease, I will link how to take measurements in the description box. So I'm going to repeat the same steps for the back block. So I have the shoulder, then the neck width, then the difference is the neck depth, which is 1 inch. You can decide to use the neck depth of your choice. Then extending the shoulder measurement to the chest line, I'm just going to connect this. Then ½ inch for my shoulder slope. Then whatever I have as the chest measurement, that's quarter of the chest measurement plus ease, and also quarter of the waist measurement plus ease. The same as the front, I'm going to mark it. So let me just quickly indicate that this is the front and this is the back. So to the back, for the armhole, I'm just going to find the midpoint here and go in by ½ inch. You can just keep it straight and just curve it out, but I just love to just go in by ½ inch based on the across back measurement that I have of the chop. So now with this, you are pretty much done. Is Just make sure that you are going to be cutting your pattern on the grain of your fabric. So that's why I'm just indicating this line. So with this, just go to the down part, the waistline. Just go up by half an inch by the side of the waistline and just curve it out. I just like the way this sits on the bodice. So you can just leave it straight, but I just love to curve it out. So you're pretty much done. So just know that this is a pattern that you can easily add sleeves to, a full sleeve to. So this is a pattern that you draft that you can add sleeve to. Now let's consider the one without sleeves. Please note that the front is mostly cut on full. Depending on what your choice, it can be left open. So I'm going to start by drawing a guideline. So with the upper part of my guideline serving as my shoulder line, I am going to mark from shoulder to the arm sky depth or the chest line, however you call it. Just the same way I did for the bodice, I'm marking it there. Then also my desired dress length, which is 24 inches. So you can mark the waist measurement and the hip, but I'm not going to concentrate on that on this other pattern. What I'll do is I'll just extend these lines across. So label it so that you don't get confused. Now on the shoulder line, just have your shoulder measurement. The same way you did for the bodice, you're going to do it here. You can easily trace it out. So now you extend that measurement to the down part. So the neck width, you use the same. You can as well trace it out, but I did it for a personal student, so that's why I had to take the step one after the other. So this is the front neckline. So that neckline is subject to change. I'm going to put quarter of the round chest measurement with ease. So the same as you had for the front, you just mark it the quarter of the round chest measurement with ease, and you have to extend that down. So now you can just draw a straight line. It looks like a rectangle. So now at the M line, your desired dress length, just extend it outward by 2 to 3 inches, but I'm using 3 inches. Now connect it back to that chest line. So that's your airline dress. So at the M, just go up by 3/4 of an inch and blend it out nicely. You can go up to 1 inch. For a sleeveless dress, the shoulder line here is 5 inch. So I'm going to take ½ inch out of it. So that leaves me with 4.5 inches. So go in by ½ inch from the shoulder line. Then here you go up by ½ an inch. Then you ensure to connect it. You can blend it back to your dress. You can leave it like that. Note that your chest line is now up by ½ an inch. So now your new shoulder line, just mark it around your chest line, like you would when trying to draw out your arm sky. Now mark your shoulder slope of ½ an inch and find the midpoint. You can go in if you like, but I just like to keep this straight and simple so that there won't be much exposure around the chest area. So that is it. This is for the front, and you make sure that you also cut it on the grain of the fabric. So I'm going to just the same step. I'm going to repeat the same at the back. So you can add 1 inch as your zipper allowance at the back and connect, and it's time to mark the shoulder line. So just take ½ inch from half the shoulder with measurements, and you mark the same thing along the chest line. You go up by ½ inch, then you mark 1/4 of the chest line plus ease. Now you find the shoulder slope, then the neck width that you use for the front is the same for the back, but the neck dip is different. The neck depth is 1 inch for the back. You can do 1.5. It's subject to change, so it's just a standard pattern that you just can change anytime to make whatever you want. So here you just connect all these points. So you just form your arm sky. There will be a link in the description box to how to take measurements for pattern drafting. So the same chest measurement with ease, you extend it down and you just connect it the same way you did for the front. Then at the down part, you extend it out by 2 to 3 inches, but I used 3 inches because I wanted more flare out there, since the girl likes to climb a lot. So go up by 3/4 of an inch and blend it out nicely. That's the back. Ensure to cut it on the grain of the fabric. With this, you're pretty much done. This is your simple airline dress. And let's take it a little bit to an airline pinafore, but before then, you can see the armhole for the dress with a bodice with sleeve and the one without a sleeve. If you decide to go in along the shoulder by 3/4 of an inch, endeavor to raise it to by 3/4 of an inch. So now to make it to an airline pinafore dress, it's as simple as coming here, you just to extend the line upward by 2 inches or 1.5. I just love to follow that curve that I have along the arm sky. So you extend the width, then you ensure that it's the same. If you are choosing 1.5, you make sure it's 1.5. If you choose 2 inches, you make sure that it's 2 inches. You can keep the upper part straight or you can curve it. The choice is all yours. To the front part, you just come down by 1 inch and you give it a nice curve if you choose the curve, or you keep it straight. So that's just basically it. So with this simple airline pattern, you just can do a lot of things to it. So now what you need to do is add your seaming allowance. Yes, if you are cutting it directly, or you can add the seaming allowance on the fabric when you are cutting it out on the fabric. So this is just pretty much it. Well, I'm going to be adding the seaming allowance 1 inch mostly on the side, then ½ inch or 3/4 an inch by the side, but the down part is definitely going to be ½ inch so that you can join it to your skirt. So while I am doing this, let me just remind you once again, if you haven't subscribed, if you are here for the first time, please do well to subscribe for more video. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, I want to say a very big thank you. I really appreciate your time, your effort, your love, everything. Thank you so very much. and I will see you in the next tutorial when I'll be using this pattern just to cut down on the time we spend drafting pattern before sewing. So thank you, see you in the next tutorial, and bye for now. Love you.